Okay, let's update our categories. And okay, we are getting our category in categories controller, the ID, and just we need, let's comment this, and just we need to find this category in our categories table. So let's first we use this categories. So we are using okay, let's do it in our quickly constructor. This categories instantiate our category model, and close the statement, save. So this categories, and we can use our where method to find that ID that we are accessing in edit. So find the ID in categories table, the ID, and the ID will be that ID. So find where categories, where ID in a categories table, this one ID. If it is match, then find the first record from the table, and close the statement, and we will keep this all in our data array. So we will give it category, and let's die dump and see that we have the exact category from our database. So it is a array and the category. Close this, save it, come to our browser, refresh the page, and when we click on finance, so see in the category model, this is a category model, and we are having the arrays of attributes. So this will find the category ID in our database, which is a finance. And here in the database, the category ID 1 is the finance, and it is getting its first record. So good to go. Okay, let's comment this, and let's return to a view. View is our categories dot edit dash category, and we will send this data array and data. Okay, close this statement. So we are returning a view. Here is in the categories directory, and this directory we have a edit category.bay.php. Okay, save it, and let's open our edit category. So here we will need to extend our main layouts. So extend layouts directory. Under layouts we have a main layout template, and we need to create a section. Section is content, and that section and the template that we will required in our edit categories, the same one that we have used in the categories. So let's copy from here. Copy it, and in our edit.category. So we will require the first row. Under that row, we need a column, small 8, and with column small offset is 2. Let's create it. Quickly remove these spaces, and here we will paste our farm. Okay, let's quickly indent it. Control right angle right bracket, and we can indent the code. Let's remove the spaces from here to clean our code. Okay, and now we will submit this form category dot update root. The root will be a category dot update. So here category update, and we will require an ID. So here we will send the ID. So we will send the ID. Okay, here we are sending the data array category. So we can simply say category, because we have a one category, and the ID of the category. Method will be post. So category dot update, and the method will be category. The category ID, and the method is the post. Okay, we will send the CRS token, and also we will send the company ID that we have in our that we are accessing for company ID, and this time we will send input type hidden. We will send the hidden field. So hidden, and the value will be category ID, and the name of the field is category underscore ID. So the name of the field is category underscore ID. Okay, category ID. So in a farm group, so label is here, we have to change the edit category, and in a farm group the name field will be the same, and in a name field text name farm control field will be the same name, and here we will show in a value attribute of input element the name of the category. So category name. So save it, and let's check in our browser. So when we click on edit, so we'll move to a layout. So layout dot main not found. So I think it's not layout, it is layouts. So layouts, layouts. Save it. So refresh. So we have now category ID. If I remove this value from here, you can see we are not printing. So we cannot see the category ID if we click on. So if I added it, so there is no ad. So we have to Control Z to remove, come back, save it, and here refresh. So we are accessing this finance. Okay. And now we need to update it. So remember, so when we are just giving edit ID, so we are just giving the view to show the category to edit. And when we have in our edit view, so we will submit this form. This form will be submit to, here we can see this form will submit to category.update, where in a category.update, where it is, sorry, this is the companies and this is categories. So category.update will goes to update method. In our categories controller, let's jump to our update method and we will fetch that ID. And we will fetch that ID. Okay. And let's die dump that ID and to see that we are accessing the ID. Okay, submit. So we are accessing the ID. Okay, and here we are need to, let's comment this. Here we need to validate this request that we are accessing, like we are validating in our store method, create category request. So let's pull that create category request and the request variable request, and we have to separate this request from our ID. Okay, give comma. Okay, here we have to find this category ID in our categories table to update the category. So we will use this categories and categories same. We will use a where find this, where this ID will be the ID that we are accessing in our update method. So in a category table, find that ID. If it is matched, then fetch the first record. If we do not find this ID, it will update all the IDs in our database. All the category will be updated with that we are updating. So we have to make sure that we are updating the exact category. So we have to match this ID in a field. So before updating. So this category is where ID is ID, and find the first record, and we will keep in a variable category. So when it is in a category, then we will say, so we will fetch only the name field that we are going to update. So we can say category and the name field category, sorry, category, the field is name, and this field name will be the new request that we are finding from our request, and we are getting the name from our request. So we will pass this request name to our category. Category, this category will use the table categories, and only the field will be assigned this request name to this category name. So when it is, and we just need to save this record. So we say category and we use the save method. So when it is saved, so we will say, we show the return, we will return the user to a root. So we are now return redirect to root. So root is categories, period, and index. So in a browser, so we are redirecting back to the user to the home page, which is the index, not to the edit category page. So when we edit it, so the user come back to the this root, which is categories dash periods dot index with the message category updated successfully. So save it and let's check and update our category. Okay, let's update this finance and I will go to finance updated. Okay, submit. So we are come back and our category is updated. So we can also update HR updated. It is updated. You can see. So stay tuned and in the next video, we will see how we can delete our category.